Hello and welcome back. Let's continue. I'm uploading the video. That was Busicom. That was a Japanese company. And this Intel 4004 chip. The designer Federico, I cannot pronounce this name because I have problem to speak. Now it's 8:30 and I'm tired today. I have some problem with this computer today. It's like it's broken. I can barely open a web page. But I don't like to talk about that now, just like to continue. Let's open the next one. The Zilog. I have like 300 PDF, but I don't know in which order I should read it. But I will just continue with Zilog because the designer of the Intel 4004, this Federico, I cannot pronounce the name, I'm very sorry. He did work in this company. And now I cannot open Zilog. It's down in the bottom, and there's something wrong with my computer. So yes, I have to put this camcorder down because it's very heavy. Yes, it's all the way down in my list, and I scroll. Because something wrong with my computer. So when I put my computer to sleep last night, and when I wake the computer up, it was very super slow. And I don't have the money to buy a new one. So I will have to make more debts, and I have paid already $1,100 to my debts. I don't need like $50 more, $75, but I probably have to do it because this will not work. Yes, that's the Zilog. No, I had to get a new computer, but then my payment to my debt will go up. Yes, it takes a few minutes to get started because I'm working in slow motion. Because something totally wrong. And I have 60 gigabyte on my C drive. I have the Windows 10 on my C drive. So, but I got 60 gigabyte left. Let's close this. Yes, but I did know that. I did know that one day this computer will not work because I have problem with this computer a long time. It's crashing. It's been crashing more than 500 times. The screen just getting a black. Then I can only press the power button, and this is super hot here. And sometimes the screen is just freezing and say a weird sound. Bzzz. Then the screen is freezing, and I can barely play any games anymore on this. So something is wrong with this computer. I don't know what's wrong. It's something, but I have nothing wrong with the CPU. I think something wrong with the graphic cards. I'm not sure, I don't know. But let's just continue this. So that's this one, Federico. No, for Federico Fagin. He's the founder of the Zilog. That's him designed the Intel 4004. That was this Japanese calculator company called Busicom. And this is why I made the video Busicom. That's not because I'm getting weird. That's because it's part of the history. Yes, let's try to read it. Read to the end of documents. But I think I need 30 seconds to do myself ready. I have to lay down in my bed because my back is hurting. But I didn't know that someday this computer will stop working.
Zilog. Zilog, Incorporated logo Zilog.svg. Zilog logo 2019 type subsidiary industry semiconductors generic Pew microprocessor founded 1974 founder Federico Fagin and Ralph Ungerman headquarters Milpitas, California. 1. United States key people Federico Fagin chairman of the board Darren G. Billerbeck president Sal director products microcontrollers revenue increase $82 million 2007 decrease $67.2 million 2008 decrease $36.2 million 2009 operating income decrease $18.39 million 2008 net income increase $3.18 million 2008 number of employees 1742 March 2009 1010 parent 3 March 2013 parent Little Fuse website Zilog.com littlefuse.com Zilog Inc. is an American manufacturer of 8-bit and 16-bit microcontrollers. Its most famous product is the Z80 series of 8-bit microprocessors that were compatible with the Intel 8080 but significantly cheaper. The Z80 was widely used during the 1980s in many popular home computers such as the TRS-80, MSX Amstrad CPC and the ZX Spectrum, as well as arcade games such as Pac-Man. The company also made 16 and 32-bit processors, but these did not see widespread use. From the 1990s, the company focused primarily on the microcontroller market. The name, pronunciation varies, for, is an acronym of Z Integrated Logic, also thought of as Z for the last word of Integrated Logic. 5. In the oral history interview video which Federico Fagin, co-founder of Zilog, recorded for the Computer History Museum, he pronounced Zilog with a long I consistently. Contents. History. Microprocessors Z80. Other chips. Product list microprocessor families. Microcontroller families. Communication controllers motion detection. Digital signal processor. TV controllers line 21 decoders. Single board computers. See also. References. External links. History. Zilog was started in California in 1974 by Federico Fagin and Ralph Ungerman, 6, who both left Intel after working on the 4004 and 8080 microprocessors and custom chips. Masatoshi Shima, who also worked with Fagin on the 4004 and 8080 joined Zilog in 1975. Ungerman had a falling out with Fagin and left Zilog in 1978. The company became a subsidiary of Exxon in 1980, but the management and employees bought it back in 1989, led by Dr. Edgar Sack. Zilog's iconic 8-bit processor, the Z80. Pictured is one of the first Z80s ever made. Zilog went public in 1991, but was acquired in 1998 by Texas Pacific Group. Curtis Crawford replaced Dr. Sack and changed the company's direction towards 32-bit data communications processors. Bonds were sold against the company to fund the new developments, but after the internet bubble burst in 2000 and the resultant reduction in customer demand for such products, Curtis Crawford was replaced by Jim Thorburn, who reorganized the company under Chapter 11 bankruptcy in late 2001 and refocused it on the 8 and 16-bit microcontroller market. A May 1976 advertisement for the Zilog Z80 8-bit microprocessor. Jim Thorburn led Zilog back into profitability, and by FY 2007, Zilog had $82 million in sales. During this time, the company developed the Z8 Encore 8-bit flash MCU and ZNEO 16-bit flash MCU product families. In February 2007, Zilog hired Darren Billerbeck to replace Jim Thorburn as president and CEO. The last year Zilog introduced any new 8-bit microcontroller products was 2007. With no new product roadmap, FY 2008 sales fell 20% to $67.2 million. Sales fell 46% in FY 2009 to $36.2 million. In January 2008, Zilog declined an unsolicited proposal made by Universal Electronics Incorporated to acquire the company. 7. On the 19th of February 2009, Zilog announced that it had sold off its 8-bit Crimson Universal Remote Control Infrared microcontroller product line, as well as its ARM9 32-bit microcontrollers, including the Zata Security microcontrollers and 15 patents, to Maxim Integrated Products. Remote control manufacturer Universal Electronics Incorporated purchased all of Zilog's software and intellectual property assets related to Zilog's Universal Remote Control business, including all ROM code, software, and database of infrared codes. 8. Zilog sold these assets for $31 million cash. In December 2009, IXYS Corporation bought the company for $62.4 million in cash, which was significantly below the market valuation of Zilog's stock at the time. 9. 10. Details of the acquisition have been under investigation. Since early 2010, Zilog has refocused its efforts towards satisfying the industrial and consumer markets for motion detection, motor control, RF wireless and embedded security applications, and is currently producing a number of reference designs that integrate its 8 and 16-bit microcontrollers with IXYS power management products. In February 2012, Zilog announced the release of its Z8051 family of microcontrollers and tool sets to fill a vacancy in the developer market for 8051 cores that was created when chipmaker NXP Semiconductors exited the 8051 market. Later that year, Zilog announced its Gate Embedded Security solution, which incorporates its EZ80F91 MCU and TCP/IP stack with an embedded firewall to offer protection against cyber threats and attacks at the chip level. In August 2017, Zilog and its parent IXYS Corporation were acquired by Littelfuse Inc. in exchange for $750 million in cash and stocks. 11. 12. Microprocessors. Z80. The Z80, is an improved implementation of the Intel 8080 architecture, with substantial extensions to their register model and instruction set and with added hardware interface features. At introduction, the Z80 was faster, more capable, and much cheaper than the 8080. Alongside the 6502, the Z80 was one of the most popular 8-bit processors for general-purpose microcomputers and other applications from the late 1970s well into the 1980s, and modern CMOS versions of both CPUs are still in production and used today, as of May 2021. The Z80 CPU was used in the Sinclair ZX80, ZX81, ZX Spectrum and the Amstrad CP-CHM computers, as well as the MSX architecture and the Microbi and Tandy TRS-80, models I, 2, 3, 4 and others. The CP/M80 operating system, and its huge software library featuring hits like WordStar and DDBase, was known to be the Z80 disk operating system, and its success is partly due to the popularity of the Z80. The 1985 Commodore 128 added a Z80 to the Commodore 64 hardware, allowing it to run CP/M software. The December Rainbow 100 similarly added a Z80 to an Intel 8088-based MS-DOS computer to enable the machine to run both MS-DOS and CP/M software natively. The Z80 was a common choice for creators of video games during the golden age of arcade video games, with a Z80 powering Pac-Man 13, dual Z80s in Scramble 14, and 3 in each Galaga machine. 15. It was the central processor for the ColecoVision game console, 1982, and Sega's Master System, 1986, and Game Gear, 1990. In the 1990s, the Z80 was the CPU of the Texas Instruments Graphing Calculator series, as well as being used as the secondary /support CPU in the Sega Genesis, most typically used for sound. 16. Other chips. After the Z80, Zilog introduced the 16-bit Z8000 and 32-bit Z800000 processors, but these were not particularly successful, and the company refocused on the microcontroller market, producing both basic PAS and application-specific integrated circuits /standard products, ASICs /ASSBs, built around a CPU core. As well as producing processors, Zilog has produced several other components. One of the most famous was the Zilog SCC serial communications controller, as found on early Apple Macintosh, SunSpark stations and SBA ARC servers up to the SBA ARC Station 20. Zilog also formed a systems division, which designed the Zilog System 8000. A Z8000 or Z800000 based multi-user computer system running a Unix derivative called Zeus, Zilog Enhanced UNIX System. 17. 18. Zilog attempted to enter the 32-bit microcontroller market in February 2006 with the demonstration of ARM9-based point-of-sale (POS) microcontroller product line. 19. 20. The final product was released in 2007 called Zatara. 21. Sales were disappointing and the entire ARM9 series was sold to Maxim Integrated. Products in 2009. Zilog also produced single-board computers. It includes Zilog Z80, a plain plus controller, 1M flash memory, 512 kilobytes SRAM, 10 base T Ethernet controller, IADA transceiver, 2x60-pin system expansion interface with full MPU bus /control signals, RJ45 Ethernet connector. 22. Motion detection version includes Z8 on-core XP MCU. 23. Product list. Microprocessor families. Zilog Z80, 1976. Zilog Z8000,